and test our third and final phase. L3. Shut the door. Let's turn it on. We've got voltage again. Press test 0.29. Welcome back. So today is the first day of a very exciting project. Probably one of the biggest projects I've ever done. Certainly the biggest project I've ever done for myself. It's the installation of a 630 amp supply. So we're here to do the ladder, the cabling, the connections, everything. So loads of content coming up. But today is day one and we are here to have a bit of a prep, a bit of a recce, and I also need to finalise my circuit design so we can get the cable ordered for a few weeks' time. So we're going to try and get a ZDB, or a ZE, or the closest to a ZE we can get. We're going to do a little bit of prep work, and then we're going to calculate this cable together as well. Let's run the intro and get into it. So we have been busy for a couple of hours. This, I'll try to put a before image up, but this was an absolute mess. There was cables all over the gaff, so we've just spent a little bit of time neatening these up. Now we're still waiting for our materials to turn up, so I'm hoping to get these clamped if space allows. If not, just get them tied, get them fixed, because they weren't before. But we've just been trying to free up a bit of space here because our two parallel feeds, I'm thinking 185s, that's what the initial design was. Need to double check that. But our two 185s are going to come along here. You can see by the rest of the place the state they were probably in. Now our panel, I'll show you that in a sec, our panel is pretty much here. So our cable route is essentially coming out of that ceiling onto this ladder here, running along here. We're going to have a bit of ladder vertically here for them to jump onto. We're then going to have ladder suspended just like that on rods and uni, coming all the way up here to about where this light fitting is. Once we hit the light fitting, we then need to 90 and go straight as the crow flies to probably where that window is. That's where the new drive panels go in. So it's a nice straight run there. We've also got these bits of wood down, all that mess was all over there, so we've sort of cleared a route up there, and we've just been prepping to make our life as easy as possible when the ladder turns up today at about 10 o'clock, and yeah, we can start cracking on getting the ladder installed. Now that's the cable route, but the cable route doesn't mean much without knowing what cable we're going to pull in. So initially I looked at some existing certification and stuff like that, and the ZDB of the main panel was 0.04, which is really low. It's really great. It's going to be tougher to get any lower than that, to be honest with you. However, I need to make sure that is the case. It wasn't just a guess or whatever, because if it's higher or that ZDB has raised due to many different reasons, then that could really affect my cable design. 185 parallels might not be enough. So what I want to do is go and see if I can safely get a ZDB, verify that, and then we'll take that ZDB, we'll put it into electrical OM together, and we'll design this 630 amp supply, and yeah, see what cable we're going to have to get on order. So this is our panel that we're going to be connected into. It's actually an extension off of a bigger panel next door, but this is our switch, spare 630. So what I'm hoping to get this open is I'll be able to connect the tester onto this, shut the door, turn it on, and then yeah, get a ZS reading across the switch side of this MCCB, which will give me effectively a ZDB for our circuit design. So before I crack on getting this ZS, I do want to make sure that this breaker is working correctly, because I'm trying to do this as safe as possible. If this breaker was letting through for any reason, it wouldn't be very safe at all. So I'm going to remove this cover, and then I basically just want to do a quick check. So I'm going to prove these on the proving unit. We've got 690 there, which is lovely. We're going to go between earth, L1, L2, L3. We'll then go between L1 and L2, L1 and L3, L2 and L3. And we'll just remove this neutral cover. We'll go between neutral, L1, L2, L3, and earth. Then finally, we just want to prove these again on here. And then that means that these are working correctly. That means that switch isn't letting any voltage through, and that means we can now carry out our ZS testing or ZE testing safely. Right, so this is our cableway. So it's all safe in here, pretty safe. All these cables are covered. We have got an exposed earth bar. It's a lot safer than trying to do live testing with the exposed bus bars of the breaker, a far lot safer. So before we do anything, we need to make sure our leads are nulled, especially when we're trying to be as accurate as possible. So I'm going to put the two fixed sides together. I'm going to go into a continuity test. I'm going to hold that down, and that's the value. I'm going to press F1, and that's going to null it. So that's going to take into account the resistance of the leads and factor that out of what we're testing. So we want to get our earth connected on there. We then want to get our live. Passed through this hole here. Get the clip on it. We're going to connect it to L1. Make sure we're on there. Can then shut this door, grab the key. Cheers, mate. Gonna lock that. Now before we turn that on, let's just make sure we're on loop high. We're not on auto test, cool. So I'm gonna turn this on. We should see a voltage there, which we do. Gonna press test, and then we've got a lovely low ZE. 0.27. I'm going to take a photo of that. I can then turn that off, open the door. We'll then drop this onto L2, make sure that's on nice and tight. As you can imagine, having the door open and the breaker on, etc., trying to test would just be, it'd be a lot spicier than what we're doing here. This is just nice and safe. Let's turn it on, that'd help, wouldn't it? Press test, 0.29. Again, real nice and low. Can then turn that off. Open the door and then test our third and final phase. L3. Shut the door. Let's turn it on. We've got voltage again. Press test 0.29. So you can see there already it's a whole point lower than what they thought was 0.04. That's going to give us a little bit more tolerance in terms of the size of our cable. Another good thing about this Q-Tech tester is that extra point. So this is a high resolution tester, which means it can go to that extra decimal point, which is quite important. When you're dealing with 0.01s, 0.02s, that extra decimal shows you how close you are, and it can be quite a big factor when you've got to get a 40 meter, 630 amp supply that can only be 0.01 in resistance. So yeah, real handy tester. And we've been able to safely get a ZDB there without doing anything too risky. I'm now going to take that value, we'll run back upstairs and we'll design the circuit together. Right, so we're up in the eaves now. We've got the laptop out, we've got electrical OM fired up, and we're going to do a little circuit design. So we're going to use the quick cable calc system. It's going to ask us for a few details. The cable is supplied from MDP2, we're going to call it. It's TNS. ZE external was 0.29. The PFC was 16 kA, make that 17. Circuit designation, Unico panel. Going to call it a final load, 3-phase, 630 amp, and it's about, we keep saying 40 meters, but to be honest with you, 35 would be a lot more of a forgiving number and a lot more realistic. We're going to then select our protected device. So this is important because this is going to dictate the values we need to hit to ensure we disconnect on time, etc. So it's a Terasaki and it's a 10 break 2 MCCB, and it's an S630 CE electronic, 50 KA. We then got the trip computer settings. So what's cool is with electrical OM you can do all of this stuff in the software. Now the IR is set to 1 and the trip computer is set to 4. That trip computer setting dictates the short trip time, the long trip time, etc. And the reason why that's set to 4 and 1 and I can't alter that is because it's actually sealed on the MCCB. I'll try to put a picture up, but essentially when they build the panel and design all those outgoing ways, they set all of the trip computers on the MCCBs and the ACBs, etc. So you've got full selectivity, everything's going to trip as intended, and then they put these little sealing stickers on everything so no one can mess with that. So we are governed by those factors, we can't change them. That's all of that information. It's looking good. We're going to press OK. And then, we've got all sorts going on. Impedance is over the limit. Yeah, of course it's going to be. So it's going to throw a load of exclamation marks at us because basically it's saying at the minute that we're going to use a 1 square millimeter single core PVC cable, which is just not the case. So the first thing we want to do is select multi-core 90 degree XLPE armoured. We are going to run it to 70 degrees. The reason why you do that is because the switchgear is only rated to 70 degrees, so the cable should only be run to 70 degrees, because if the cable operates over 70 degrees, then the switchgear will heat up and it's going to cause you issues. So often overlooked in a lot of design because 90 degrees is a lot more forgiving, but when you run it to 70 degrees it is gonna lower that current carrying capacity. We're also going to select LSF because that's what we're going to be wiring in. We then want to select method, so it's going to be on ladder and it's going to be on ladder flat touching. Then 35 meters is cool. We're going to use parallel conductors. I'll show you why, because immediately one 4-core cable, even up to 400 square millimeters, is not going to be enough. So we'll select parallel conductors, and then we'll select 185 hopefully, and that's cleared all the exclamation marks. There is still one on volt drop, but normally when you apply the changes it does clear it. That is telling us initially that a 185 4 cores in parallel is fine. That's what we can do. If we go over to earthing, you can see we can use the sheath as a CPC. The minimum required for the adiabatics would be 71 square millimeters. The copper equivalent of our steel wired sheath is 204 square millimeters. So we're well over that. So that's super good news. The brake is going to stay the same. We've already put that information in. You then got correction factors. So these are really important. We're not going to be affected by any of these, but some of these can really penalise you. For instance, if it was ran in insulation, 100mm insulation, then it's going to derate that by 25% or 22%. We're not going through any insulation, so we don't need to worry about that. The ambient temperature in here, 30 degrees is more than enough. If it gets more than 30 degrees up here, I'd be worried. It's not going to get hotter than that. And then we've got grouping. So we're going to have our 2 cables grouped together, but they're going to be more than a cable diameter away from anything else, which generally means, we're going to have them as horizontal touching, but if you do horizontal spaced, it sends that factor up to 1, which is nothing. If we do horizontal touching, it's going to do 0.87, so it's going to derate it by 0.13. We're going to have our 2 cables together, so we'll say 2, but that's overcooking it if anything. You've then got these other correction factors. So you've got the correction factor for the operating temperature of the cable for voltage drop, so that's 0.99, nothing really, but it factors it in. You've got correction factors for using 3036 fuses, we're not, so it stays at 1. Correction factors for triple harmonic currents, not worried about that, so 1. And then the correction factor for significant exposure, can't get my words out, to solar radiation. So that again, it's not going to be affected by that. So one, and then you can also, which is quite cool, you can apply a rating factor for the circuit breakers being bunched together. If you had a lot of breakers bunched together, running at high loads, it's obviously going to introduce a temperature factor, so you can derate accordingly based on that too. Voltage drop, it's all sweet. It's it's within the 5%. And then you can add other information. But that is our circuit design. 630 amp supply, 185 parallels. I'm so glad that it's not 240s. Even if it was 240s, I'd pull in 3 cables because I refuse to work with 240s. That's all locked in, so we can get that cable on order now. The other circuits, the outgoing ways of the panel, have all been designed by the engineers who designed the kit, so we're not worried about that. They just needed the 630 amp supply. So yeah, we'll get that cable ordered, and then hopefully we pulling it in a couple of weeks. We've also got loads of other bits coming up on this project. We've got ladder rack to install, we've got those cables to pull in, those cables to terminate. We've got 185 servo cable, which I've never used before, so that's going to be cool. We've got some 50mm single HO7s. Yeah, loads of cool equipment that we're connecting up as well. So there should be a good few videos coming out of this project, which is pretty exciting. I'm pretty gassed about it. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for all the videos coming up, and I'll catch you on the next one.